Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Nerdy Old Men podcast. This is Chad, and we are here today on location. And of course, we have our wonderful, lovable sidekick. He can't drive like Kato, and he sure as heck can't do flips like Robin, but he is in fact Redneck Wes.
Hey everybody, we're coming to you live on location here at Brickhouse Collectibles. We love this place. You need to come check it out.
Yeah, it's the coolest freaking Lego place around, and we've got Pat with us today, who is the owner-operator and king guru of all things Lego in the Knox County area. Pat, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good, and that's quite the title. I
You gotta
don't know if that'll fit on my nameplate. That's a lot of words. What's the acronym for that? We're gonna have to. I'm a little scared to spell that one out.
Like an imperial general, you know, with like all the buttons.
Yes. Grand Admiral Pat.
King all things Lego.
So, Pat, tell us about Brickhouse Collectibles.
Well, I guess if you were to peer inside of my brain, you might see something like this. So it's, we were trying to create a location to kind of fill some gaps, all things geeky or nerdy, which is a debate we should talk about.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Lego is, most of the things, everything in the store is either a passion of mine or something I love, something I collect. Lego being our key component, just because of the fact that it's really not something that's widely available. And seeing that void, and from my perspective, the need to have something like this around, kind of propelled us to make the decision to move forward with this. Not just wanting to have a single point of failure. We added on other lines of things that I like, things that are cool, things that I know about. So like the gaming cards and the collectibles and sports cards and games and statues and toys.
I was gonna say Iron Man sitting here looking at me.
Yeah, it's full
life-size Iron Man busts that
it's awesome.
Every man cave needs.
Absolutely.
So it was just a cool place to develop, to create, and ultimately to work at, and to support our family with. So that's kind of that's where we came from, and that's what's driving the force driving us forward.
So how long you guys been open here?
We just finished month 4.
That's outstanding.
So we had our first, drive into the holidays with Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, which I honestly did not know was a thing, which is bad on me. I guess I did too much internet shopping for the last several years. But yeah, Small Business Saturday. Remember that next year. So it's been good to learn a lot. I had a shop in the '90s, late '90s, with a bunch of friends. It was a comic gaming store in Maryland. So I had some understandings of business, but never starting something from scratch, doing everything of the paperwork and all the accounts and all the vendors.
You wear a lot of different hats, don't you?
So all you CEOs that are listening today, your job is very doable by anyone with a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. Maybe you don't need that $45 million a year and golden parachute. Anyway,
but if you want to quit, I'll take it.
And
so will Pat and Weston. We'll just run your company for you.
But every C level, the CEO, CIO, CFO, you definitely have to learn a lot and dig in, and don't be afraid to try to make decisions, take chances. And it's good I can take risks. I mean, knowing what's at risk when I make a decision to carry something or spend money on something. I know we're getting into really deep business talk here, but it's cool and scary to be having those kinds of decisions that could ultimately impact you directly. So that's just part of owning a business. That's part of the risk you take, and there's good sides of it too, right? When you can have success in business, not only from the monetary perspective, which honestly is kind of secondary, as long as I can eat, but the fact that we're supplying a service and really putting. Not to sound cliche, but there are so many kids that come in here and just they glow and they love this place. I mean, and just day after day, I see parents, return customers that come back in, and their moms or their dads just tell about how their kids just talk about this place, want to come back, and that's the kind of stuff that really is more gratifying than anything, as far as and satisfying that we were successful in at least achieving that so quickly.
Yeah, what you said about getting deep into the business stuff, but that's actually important, because one of the things and one of the reasons we come out and we like to talk to small business owners like you in our area is to promote that kind of thing, because this genre of things, whether it be comics or toys or Lego or anything
There's
like
all
that, or
kinds of
games and stuff like
collectibles,
that, is kind of a tight knit group. And the fact that we promote those businesses and you guys promote each other, because one of the ways I learned about you is from seeing another business post about you, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah.
And to talk about how, you do make some sacrifices and some risk by doing this business, can let people that aren't running businesses know that it's important to come and shop at a place like this, and come and express interest in a place like this, because you are putting some things on the line in order to provide a service about things that you love,
Right.
and others need to appreciate that as well. And that's something that is gratifying for us to be able to go around and talk to some of these business owners and learn that kind of stuff. So, and we want to show people, hey, come and check this place out, because
What's
it's cool.
is you make a lot of friends, and there is this sense of community. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
doing this as long as Chad and I have, I mean, we've got
14 whole episodes.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not nerdy young men.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was talking about just like being
40 years, yeah.
into all the geekdom, nerddom, whatever you want to label it as. We've met people and you've made friends, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for something. Well, you need to go talk to Pat, because he's got. They may come down here and go, well, I've got this, but you need to go see so and so for this. And they're like, everybody's kind of interacting with each other and referring each other. And
Yep.
I know we had talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I mean I personally think it's very important to be like that. I mean, that's how I am as a person, and that's how I would operate that's how I expect my business to operate. Is that it's a cooperative effort. All the other shops that provide a collectible type of genre, whether it be gaming or comics or anything else that crosses over into what we do, it's not. I really don't look at us as competing with anybody. We're just providing an option for people that maybe they don't want to drive that extra mile, and we happen to have it. And if we don't have it, I'm 100% behind supporting and referring another business, because I want them to succeed. They're just doing the same thing I'm doing. They just want to put food on the table, provide for their family, and provide a service to the community. So I think it's really important to operate in that manner. I really don't call other businesses competition, because we're really all doing the same thing. We're in this together, and it's important that we work cooperatively to just support the community at large, because not everybody can do everything at every time, and ultimately, if you want to support your customers, even if those dollars go somewhere else, it's okay, because karma's a thing, and I believe wholeheartedly in it, and you do good, and good will come back to you.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. And we've noticed that with a lot of the people that we've talked to.
And that's really refreshing. I mean, you don't see that in a lot of industry, right?
No.
So just the fact that, as nerddom or geekdom, we can unite in that kind of
and you see that in everything, too. A lot of places, like if you go to cons and things, and Wes is a big cosplayer and has a lot of cosplayer friends, and everybody helps each other.
If something breaks, or you need to know how to do something, or where to find something, everybody will do like what you're saying.
But
communicate.
Even and it's that genre of things, because back in many moons ago in another life, I was a policeman, and I worked a bunch of different events, concerts, and things like that. Right? Well, music industry people, not nearly as friendly as when you do a wrestling show.
Oh yeah.
Or you do security at a convention that is comics or something like that. There's a tremendous difference. There really, really is. And that's a really cool thing. And you kind of and going to cons and meeting celebrities and getting autographs and things. All them dudes know each other, and they're all super nice, and they're all super happy. And one of the reasons that the lines get long is because they're talking to people, and they just want to talk to people. And you get that same kind of feeling in a place like this, in this type of business. So that's kind of a really cool thing, and that's something that I really like. But Pat, you've told us about Brickhouse. Tell us about Pat.
Hidden questions here.
So when does one become officially a nerdy, quote, old man?
I think it's more of a state of mind.
So I think I'm about to cross that threshold of the hill here in a couple days. So 50 staring at me. So it's a couple days.
It's not the age.
Is that halfway? Is that halfway?
Yeah.
Is 50 halfway now? I
I don't know.
So no, so I mean, I've been a kind of a collector all my whole life. My parents never understood it, you know, when I was younger. You know, I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, but it's true. You gave me a lot of crap for it. What's he doing with all his comic books?
Look at me now. I've got a business,
right.
my gosh.
So
no, I got all those Legos. I don't understand what's going on here.
They've seen the light. They've seen the light. My mom buys Lego now.
Sweet.
So
one at a time, convert them one at a time.
yeah, success. So I mean, always been a collector, reader, comics, gamer. You know, just basically everything in this shop. While it's always been my passion, it hasn't always been something that I've been able to do because, you know, life and getting a quote unquote real job. Till I, you know, we hit a wall of layoff and you know, decided to open this store and seeing if my passion could become a job, and it really it's proven to be that I think it can be, even after 4 months, which it feels like it's been a full year. Maybe just because of the number of hours.
2020's been rough on everybody, but it
has been a tough year.
The boss and doing everything that you have to do to run a business, you're probably getting it like 4 times.
But it doesn't feel it. I mean, you don't feel it. I don't feel it. And I think that's a testament to where you enjoy it, and that cliche, if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life. I don't think there's any more of a testament of that than this, at least what I'm doing personally, you know, attesting to that, because I really, you know, everyone tells me in person, my family, you know, it's like, you got to slow down, you got to take a day, but I don't feel it. You know, It's been 4 months of like literally 70-hour weeks constantly. You know, I just get up in the routines. I get up, get dressed, drink a cup of coffee, take a shower, and come on into work. You know, and I come home and it's, you know, at the end of the day, and we'll watch our shows. And I haven't seen Mandalorian today yet, so please don't give me any spoilers.
No. Well, I know we haven't either
we've
yet.
not seen it yet.
So you know, it's been really good, and you know, I have no plans on letting up, and you know, we'll see where things go. And eventually we'll hire employees. Eventually we'll get to the point to where
you can work a 65-hour week.
Yeah, you can, you can pull the pedal off the gas and go about 100 instead of 120. But
an interesting thing that I think is because like we've talked to other business owners before, is what did you do before you came and opened this? You said unfortunately your career path took a turn that was uncontrollable by you, but it's just kind of an interesting thing. You got this guy sitting here in this neon yellow Brickhouse Collectibles t-shirt, or
batteries are included,
which is really cool. Yeah, batteries are not even needed for this thing, right? And he's got this really awesome store. It's got a lot of wicked cool stuff in here, and my kid has been running around and loves the store. But what did you do before?
So I worked in procurement.
Okay.
For many years. Before that, I was an IT manager running a data center and had a staff that kind of kept things going for the Gap, the clothing store. And my career path went from Gap, parlaying to IBM, and then I ended up at Scripps up in Cincinnati, and we had a headquarters down here in Knoxville.
Right.
And then ended up moving to Knoxville, and then they got bought by Discovery, and after a year and a half, there it went. Along with many other friends and colleagues have had the same unfortunate end. But I think there's been a lot of opportunity for all those individuals as well, that they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that there's other things to do, that they can try new things and, you know, parlay this, make lemonade out of the lemons.
There you go. So, you know, when you so you decided to stay here.
Yeah.
You like the area?
I love Knoxville, man. I love Knoxville. You know,
you can't really.
I'm sold, but I've been from one end of this galaxy to the other.
You can't really beat. You can't really beat this area, though. Really.
No, I mean, East Tennessee. I'm from the East Coast, and I'll be honest. My impression of, if you would have asked me when I was 16 years old what I think about Tennessee.
Yeah, Wes. You would have thought of Wes. Yep.
Camouflage cowboy boots.
Those are snake boots.
I'm sorry, snake boots. See, I don't even know what the hell. So yeah. But when you come here, at least in East Tennessee, you know, it's absolutely nothing what you would unfortunately expect, and it's a wrong that it's even that way. But those East Coasters,
they don't know what they're talking.
They have no idea. Let's not even talk about the West Coast. I think we can all agree. So you know, just it's the people here, the surprising diversity here, and I think the UT has a big part to do with that. And then the weather here, and having no state income tax is wonderful aspects of living in Tennessee. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, and and as far as your business, because we've talked about that offline, there's nowhere to get this caliber of Legos, which is
you want to go to Atlanta.
I like to see this caliber of Legos, this variety of Lego.
That's our goal.
I mean, that's something you can't get that anywhere else around here. You really just can't.
No. Not without a 2-hour drive.
With the two Toys R Us leaving and being outside of a large metropolitan area where
what are you talking about? Knoxville's a big city.
Where the corporate stores are. This is the place, and I think you found a niche here.
That was the intent. We looked at determined product lines and what we were going to focus on. I mean, I wanted it to be Lego, but after doing research, it proved itself that was the right decision. Right. Just because of where we're at, we're in a nice little dead zone. Mm-hmm. When you look around, I mean, there's 2 hours in any direction, you can get yourself into a nice, not legitimate's the wrong word, but because we're legitimate, but a branded Lego store. But I think sometimes some aspects and a lot of the feedback we get is we do a little better. We're able to stock up a little better. We work, and I work really hard to do that. And the fact that we carry retired stuff and used stuff and things like that we put together, that is further drives the distinction of what we do.
That's the thing I was about to say before you said that is my son likes Lego. My daughter, I like Lego. We've been to the one in Alpharetta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, a few times. They have new product because they get new product. But you come in here, you got new product, and you've also got older stuff and retired stuff, and like you said, used stuff. So if you're looking for something, you got the London Bridge sitting right over there in a box, a used item. That is awesome.
There's the Batmobile.
Yeah,
there's a grand piano.
A grand piano. An actual Lego set grand piano. Got a ton of Star Wars stuff over there. There's things here that obviously are brand spanking new, like fresh off the stuff. Because I pay attention to your Facebook page, and you're always putting out, hey, this stuff just got here. This is a surprise. Look at this thing, right? But you also can come in here and explore some of this older stuff, which you cannot do if you make that 2-hour drive. And they don't have the old stuff. The new stuff. They don't have the old stuff, but they got the new stuff. But Pat's got both. So, ton of Lego stuff here. But what when you look around here, what do you like the best out of these kits, the Lego kits? That is.
My favorite is, and I don't want to say this because that means it's going to probably sell really fast, and I want it to stick around, but it won't. The Tantive 4 is, just aesthetically one of the nicest ships to look at, and it's about to retire, I think. And that's the other thing. It's like some of this stuff's about to retire, so I think people are speculating on, because this stuff goes up in value, and I try not to get in the middle of the whole investment aspect of things, because I just want people to get what they want. But the reality of the situation is a lot of this stuff goes up in quote unquote value. So people will, buy stuff that's about to go retire because people will still want it a year from now, and the only place to get it is in the aftermarket. So the Tanda 4 is a gorgeous set. But there's so many cool sets like the Treehouse and these modular buildings that people build their cities, which my wife is all into right now.
I love those. If I had a place for those. My son and I would get them all, and just because those are so cool.
Well, he'd have a roller coaster running through it.
Well,
it's all said and done. Because he likes to build that stuff.
He laid beside this one over here and was like, "This is amazing." Of course, in his head, he's thinking about, how can I make that go faster?
Well, yeah, he's probably redesigned the set. He's like, I don't like this. I'm going to make it do this.
But he's got a huge Star Wars section, and the city section, and you got some superhero stuff here, DC, which is awesome, and then you got the Marvel stuff. But then he's got all
haters gonna hate.
The Brickhead stuff in the back. He's got comics. He's got all kinds of stuff here.
He's got games. He's got, I know there's some
games, mangas, collectibles, toys, statues.
He has a Rambo board game that I'm seriously thinking about getting. So, honey,
Wes has carried it around and petted on it affectionately.
Yes.
I think that's the old days. That's how you call dibs. He's done everything short of licking it.
But then
don't put it past me now.
Then you've got the Sideshow Collectibles, the child Grogu up there on the top of the
I think it's gorgeous
cabinet over there. That thing is amazing.
It is. It's fantastic.
I'd love to have one and a car seat and just drive around with it in the car seat.
Well, I want to do like the baby carrier and like put him in the baby carrier, put like some sunglasses on him, so he's like low profile, and just walk around and just see what people would do.
Like
from the Hangover.
The Hangover, yes,
Just put him in there.
But something else that's neat over there is those Lego tennis shoes.
Yeah, that was a
I
really
had
cool.
never seen those before. Now,
So-
those yours?
Those are mine.
Tell us the story about that, Pat.
So Lego, I think it was over the summer. They did not Lego, but Adidas for those that are initiated in the European culture. So Adidas they did a promotion over the summer with they call it the A to Z something. So I think they picked some pop culture icon or business with each of those letters, and they created a special edition sneaker, either cooperatively with them, I would assume. So you had rap stars and pop stars and other companies, and L was Lego. So they did a very limited printing or creating or production run of these sneakers, and you had to actually get into a drawing to buy them. So you had to. It was a very convoluted, like the fine print where sweepstakes are giving you like 8,000 ways to get disqualified from it if you don't follow all these explicit instructions. It was almost like they had to download this app and register and put in your credit card and your shoe size, and we'll do a drawing, and if we draw your name, well, you bought it. And
So you prayed to the Lego gods very hard.
and the Lego gods answered.
And they smiled upon
They
you.
did smile upon me, and a couple days later, I had a pair of sneakers show up, and I was
Those
like,
are really
wow.
neat, though. I mean, because I've never seen those before.
No.
And they'll, unless I end up running in here in a drunken stupor and say, I'm going to wear Lego shoes today. I'm not going to. Those are a display. They're not for sale. It's just a really cool. It's just a unique. There are Air Jordans. They're just a cool little thing that. People look at you've never seen them, and you don't expect to see them.
But that's Pat's. That's
that's my size.
Tell me you've at least put them on one time.
I have not. They are completely unblemished. They are unblemished.
So come down to Brickhouse Collectibles and take a look at those shoes,
Yeah,
because
sit in that case
that's really
if you're
neat.
up front. I mean,
That's
really-
You will know what they are by.
That's really neat. I mean,
you need
no
introduction. That is 100% Lego
It's
shoe.
like Pat's Lego shoes.
I'd say when you open the box, it was like
That new car smell.
Well, like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction,
Oh.
where it's like
Just
glowing. but they're over there in the cabinet as well, and up front in the cabinet, there's a lot of more high-end collectible Lego items and things I saw down there.
Yeah, minifigs are a thing. I mean, really, the people that collect just minifigs, it's funny. I see a lot of ads on Marketplace where people are trying to sell, their Lego. Which, if you want to sell your Lego, bring them to me. We buy used Lego, whether it's in bulk or in sets, preferably in sets with instructions. Bring them to us. We'll make you a fair offer. We absolutely do. I try to. I'm really transparent with our customers as far as what I'm going to sell it for, how much I'm going to make on it, and how long I think it'll take to kind of make sure they're comfortable with the whole transaction. But people collect minifigs, man. There's a little bucket, 2 little buckets of just bagged minifigs, and that little corner gets more action. There's a metaphor that I could use, but it gets so much action, dude. It's fantastic that for a business, to have that kind of square footage do so well.
Is that something that kids are going after, or is that
Kids
like
and
adults?
adults.
Is
Kids and
everybody's looking for a specific figure? Or?
They fill up their genres. They're building a city or building an army, or a lot of parents reward their kids. Pick one out. It's a couple bucks, so pick out a minifig, and that's a reward for doing good in school or getting a good grade on a test, and they do well. And then you got the high end ones where you have $30, $40, $50, $100.
Well, you had Django Fett sitting up there, sold. Yeah, and it was like $100 or something.
$100.
Yeah, and I would have had no idea about this, but that MeTV network has a show, Collector's Call, and they did one where this guy was an episode of Legos, right? And he had Django's Slave One.
Sold one of those too.
But he didn't have the figure, and they made a trade or whatever. But they explained how rare apparently.
Yeah,
that
it's
figure
mind-boggling.
is, which is odd. It apparently came with the set.
That's it.
But people would lose the minifig or something, and somehow they would get separated.
And they never made another one. Which is important. That character, they've always. I mean, Lego typically will reprint. I mean, how many Millennium Falcons have there been?
That massive one over there.
That's one of them. it's available at Brickhouse.
There it is.
And if you just need a workout, just come on in and lift it up a couple times. It's free, and I fully endorse it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Even that Coliseum is another one. You can definitely work them biceps out trying to lift that thing up. That's every bit of 40 pounds, man.
That's awesome.
I mean, they typically reprint a lot of either the sets or redo the ships, and they'll tweak something or
change colors,
make it better. Curve, make some unique pieces to bring it closer to the actual ship or vehicle or whatever they're making. But they just never, for some reason, they've never done Django's Slave 1 or Jango Fett.
All right,
I'm
now,
sure
Lego, if you're listening, don't redo that one.
I know, because every collector is going to be like, no!
I mean, it could be something to the fact that the prequels are like,
Well,
They're getting more love, though.
They are, but I mean, like we talked about that before, Chad. That that's more like your brothers because he's younger than us. He was more, the original. I mean, we all know that they're the best.
Yeah,
Mando's the best.
That's true.
Empire, I'm gonna go with Empire still.
Well,
but I love the Western feel.
To go down the rabbit hole, you know why the Mando kind of walks real slow sometimes? Because he's carrying the entire Star Wars franchise.
Well, this
on
is
his
true.
Shoulders. So that's.
But you know who created the Mandalorian series, right? John Favreau, and he was the instrumental in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So suck it, DC.
It's true.
Well, you got Zack Snyder, nothing.
Where's my popcorn?
This is standard. Yeah. This is pretty standard stuff. There are other things that you got here that I think is neat is all this storage. You've got a section here that's like home stuff.
Yeah, we'll call it Lego at home. At symbol home. Yeah, because we're gonna brand it. No, it's a new thing that came available for us to order. So we. The shelves and the racks and the picture frames, and it's all looks like Lego brick, and
it's cool, man.
It is really cool. It's totally stackable like Lego, and it's
Well, I mean, there's different colors, and I mean, I'm assuming that they will all work with each other like regular Legos.
They can.
And
it doesn't come with hardware, which is kind of a bummer. I guess you got to get your own wall mounts to screw it into your drywall, but
kind of like IKEA.
Yeah, exactly. It's modular like IKEA. Not quite the instruction book, but it's cool. Again, we just want to carry cool. So if it's cool, we want to bring it in.
Well, I'll tell you, come down here and check stuff out like this. Come and look at this. You've got a couple of these life-size busts, one of Venom, one of Iron Man, which is so cool. I mean, the Venom one, the way they've painted it, looks like he's got slobber and stuff coming out of his mouth. And that's just really, really cool.
It is.
And, again, back to the Lego stuff, the Taj Mahal kit, which I've seen online a ton, which is ridiculously
there's
cool.
A Ferris wheel set right behind me
over here.
This is amazing.
But come and see some of the cool items and then pick up some stuff because there's all kinds of, of other things here. But, gosh, what else, Wes? What are you thinking? I mean, it's just such an amazing place.
I know walking around earlier, there's a Dave Dorman.
Dave Dorman! Shout out to Dave Dorman.
Shout
out to Mr. Dorman.
He is awesome. I've met him a couple times.
Likewise.
He's awesome. But, Dave Dorman
he's
art,
painting,
that's yours.
Dave is painting right now. He does a live. He's been painting it all week. A scene from Rogue One with the Baz. Is it Baz? The guy with the machine gun blaster. I can't remember the character's name. And, okay. Anyway, go watch Dave Dorman's live stream, watch him painting it. I can't remember their character's name. I'm losing
I only watched that
right
movie
now.
one time, sorry.
Dang.
Yeah.
Donnie and I'm
the last like 5 minutes movie.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks amazing. It's just it's really great to watch the creative process. In general, let alone being one of your like artistic idols. Dave Dorman is up there with, in my book, up there with as an artist, like with the Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane or any of the big name, just because of, and even though he does mostly covers.
But he's got some amazing Star Wars covers. I mean, I bought a book one time because of one picture.
He's a legend, and I mean, he can do Boba Fett in his sleep in an hour. He'll do an hour session and paint Boba Fett, probably because he's done it 1,000 times. But it's just so good. It's so good, and he doesn't get enough love from the newer Star Wars community, because I don't think they didn't live through the Dark Empire released in the 90s, which was so good. And is that not canon now? I don't know what
they can't make their mind up what's canon and what's not.
It was those covers were so good. I mean, most people fell in love with his art, and just from that, and Aliens and the Predator and Indiana Jones, and good.
Where did you get your painting at, or your print?
From Dave Dorman himself.
How did that go?
It went great. Well, he did a live stream of painting it, and it was Pennywise, which is really cool. It's freaky as hell if you want to come in and check it out. We'll turn the lights out. We'll give you the full effect.
Pat will reach up and touch your shoulder. It'll be amazing.
I'll hand you a red balloon. So he was painting it live, and I just pinged him and I said, "Hey, is this for sale?" He's like, well, "Is it a commission?" Usually the questions to Dave when he's painting is it commission or is it available? And he'll say it's available. So we pinged it, and I worked out a deal with him, and he shipped it. That's so I have awesome. I have a couple originals from him. He did a Clint Eastwood from High Plains Drifter, which was really cool, and another Pennywise, and I know I have a Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister painting that he did, which is really cool. So
I've got a print. It's not anything near as cool as that.
It's still cool.
It's okay. It's Darth Vader, and he's walking through the flames, and his cape's billowing out, and he's got his lightsaber, and you see the teeth on the blast doors, and it looks like he's literally walking from the jail,
cool.
the gates of hell.
Yeah,
and it was just like, I got to buy this book, and then I searched and just randomly stumbled across it one day, and I'm buying it, and my wife was cool enough to let me hang that up.
My dream, I have a dream. And I want to.
You're living it right now. You're running the Lego store.
Well, I'm going to extend my dream.
There you go.
On the fly. We're going to call it Audible on my dream.
Yeah, never stop dreaming.
Omaha.
We're bringing sports into geekdom.
Yes, it's everything.
We're embracing the jocks. So I want to have a signing here with Dorman next time he's in town. If he becomes a fanboy, I'm going to work it out. If I need to put him in a hotel, Dave, if you're listening,
I will
we'll work it
pay
out.
for that in some way if it gets Dave Dorman here.
Yeah, I want Dave to come back to Knoxville. And I mean, when I was in Fanboy a couple years ago, he came here, and it was great to see him. And there was a lot. They gave him kind of this little corner. He didn't get the
prime spot.
He needs a better spot because he is a legend. He deserves that.
Well, they kind of had the artist over there, and I think
Artist Alley.
Yeah, I think that was the year that Neil Adams was there. I can't remember. I remember Neil had a big spread, but I did get to see him at Fanboy. I was dressed as Groot, so I'm kind of lifting it up, and he just kind of looks at me and he's like, "That's cool," and I'm like.
Because Wes is kind of tall anyway, but he gets on stilts and this big
I'm like 8 foot tall, so I come walking by and I'm like, oh, there's Dave Dorman. I got to say hi.
So awesome.
Well,
speaking of signings, let me give a shout out. I don't have the name, but I'll just give it anecdotally. So I had a young man come in with his mom, and he wrote a book. He wrote his own book, little book. He's probably every bit at 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'll have details soon, but we're gonna probably after the holidays. But we're gonna do a little book signing for him and promote him and his little book.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, and there'll be more information soon, just to kind of get the name of the book and the title and it's just a young man with a imagination, and it's just really cool to see that kind of stuff going on with little.
Well, and that kind of goes back to the whole fostering the community. Just. He came in, saw this. He's got a book. You're trying to help him out.
That's good stuff.
When he lit up like Christmas. When I was like, maybe we can do a book signing and you can do some autographs. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And he lit up like Christmas. It was the coolest thing. I mean, that just lit my fire. I'm like, okay, we're gonna hook you up, dude.
So like in 20 years, he's an author and he's doing a book signing at some big bookstore.
He may remember.
And he's like, hey, there was a guy one time gave me a shot.
Yeah. So that'd be cool.
Well, it goes back again to this genre of things and how that can bring happiness to you. In a year that's been garbage, let's just be completely real, right? In a world that's full of mess, there's an escape in this type of thing. And you can come into a shop like this that's bright and colorful and is fun. Everything in here is fun.
It is.
And there's no worry. You don't have to come in here and worry about a thing. You're not going to see. It's important to be aware of everything that's going on in the world, right? I mean, that's important as adults. We need to do that. But the news isn't playing in here. There's not radio that's in here that's giving you any kind of bad news or negativity. You walk in the door and it's colorful stuff.
We're sitting here talking about how awesome Legos are.
Yeah. But you can get that when you walk in here. So if you need a pick-me-up, man, just walk in this place and check it out.
That's important to me, that people come in here and they feel welcome and they have my attention. And I enjoy the conversations I have with them because, trust me, man, I cannot do 75 hours of anything without enjoying it,
right?
Or having some sort of diversion, a welcome diversion to those hours. So, I mean, I have hours-long conversations with people. They come in where they want to talk about the sports cards and all the crazy stuff that's going with. Why are they so expensive? Why are they so valuable? There's so much new money in this hobby. What's going on?
Right.
Or they want to talk about comic books, about stuff that maybe, hopefully, I know about. if it happened in the 90s, I'm good. But some of this new stuff, apparently Daredevil 25, it just came out. I already sold out my 4 copies. I've sold 0 issues of Daredevil since I've opened, and all of a sudden, I could have sold 100 of them. So it's a big issue if you haven't gotten it, run out and get it now. So, people want to talk about comics, so they talk about their gaming cards or Magic, or talk about Lego and the builds that they're doing, and, it's really, it passes the day, but it's enjoyable. And that type of interaction, it's important to me. And I think it definitely makes people feel more comfortable coming in here, which is really what the end of the day, what I want to have happen. That's, I want them to come to Brickhouse and feel like this is a place they can hang out, ultimately get what they want. But, we can sit down and chat and become, I've made so many, and I don't want to say this lightly, friends that have come in here, and they come in here every week or sometimes a couple times a week. And whether or not they buy something, I really don't care. I'm happy for them to come in here and feel they can come here, just look around, have a good conversation, and leave.
Yeah. We've talked, like pre-show, a couple stories that you shared with us are interesting. The one about you wanting to go see Star Wars as a kid with your dad.
When you were riding with your dad.
So,
way to throw dad under the bus.
All right. So the story is not a story. This is true. It's not embellishing it. This is not old age embellishment. This is actual 100% fact.
By golly, it happened.
So
truth and nothing but the truth.
I am not an OG when it comes to Star Wars. I did not watch it in '77. Not my fault. I was 7. Had no job, no money. I was at the beck and call of my parents, who were completely uninitiated in the ways of science fiction. So it was it was probably early '78, because as we know, and kids, buckle up. We didn't have multiplex theaters, and theaters ran movies for a long time when they were hot. Star Wars ran for like 56 weeks or something.
Yeah,
a year in the theaters, boys and girls.
Yes.
So it was I believe it was in '78. We were driving, and it was at again, buckle up, boys and girls, a drive-in movie theater.
That's right.
So Star Wars was double playing with, I don't know, Black Stallion or something, which is really weird. So I looked over, and I was with my uncle. We're in a truck. My dad was driving, and my uncle's like, "Hey, Star Wars playing. Let's go watch it." And I was like, smiled with the anticipation,
glow right then,
because my uncle was like doing me a solid for once, instead of beating me up or threatening to kill me with a knife, with a Bowie knife all the time. Uncle Bill. So
good times.
So I'm waiting. My dad was like, didn't even pause, just looking straight ahead, didn't even acknowledge us, just straight ahead looking, like, nope. So there went that. So fast forward about 5 years later, we're in Germany, and I saw it on VHS, and then saw Empire in the theaters, and there began my Star Wars journey.
Well, at least you started with one of the best ones in the theaters, Empire. So
yeah,
that's pretty good.
We did see Star Trek: The Motion Picture in the theaters, which is weird.
No, I like Trek. Trek's good stuff too. Yeah, that's good though, because we like to reminisce about some of those.
Oh yeah,
as a kid.
And some things we bury until someone brings it up again.
Yeah, the kid stuff. Yeah,
thanks, Chad.
You can't let that stuff slip, and let's not take advantage of that. And another story that I know that Pat talked about, which I thought was really neat, is something I didn't realize about Godzilla.
Gojira.
Yes.
So my wife.
This is actually interesting.
My wife's Japanese. Which part of which?
Well, you were just talking about how you and her had watched the film, and you didn't realize how important that
like
character is to that nationality.
So my wife's Japanese, and the reverence that, and I'm encapsulating the entire Japanese culture in my wife when I see her and her reactions. So I believe them to be true, but the absolute reverence and just admiration that she has for the character, or really not even the character, just what Godzilla is, like what he means to nature, to the earth, to the planet, which is really, Godzilla is not a bad or a good thing.
Mm-hmm. He's a force of nature.
Exactly, and it's really driven by what needs to happen, regardless of the impact of those around him, to maintain that balance. So if you're on the wrong side of him because of that, you're part of that imbalance, you're going to get wrecked.
You're going to get stepped on.
So, but just when we watched Godzilla King of the I don't know the new one, not the Matthew Broderick crappy one. Right.
We don't talk about that one. I saw
Roland Emmerich one.
We saw that in the theaters, and our buddy Terrence actually fell asleep and got mad at me because I punched him. I'm like, if I'm gonna sit through this crap, you're sitting through it too. So I woke him up. But yeah.
So they gave in her eyes credibility because when they have real she actually hates it when they have non-Japanese people or portraying Japanese people.
Right. I guess.
So having Ken or Watanabe Ken, because they flipped the name. Star or being one of the in the picture gave it a lot of credibility in her eyes. So you're just sitting in the theater watching that movie with her, because we watched a lot of movies. She did really. I could sense and see the emotion of her seeing it on screen, and I'm like, man, they just love Gojira, and they love Godzilla. So it's cool when they do him justice and kind of portray him right.
It's just a neat story though. How I mean that's it's science fiction. I would guess science fiction monster.
Science fact in Japan. You know he's down there somewhere.
So that's the point though, and how it transcends nationalities and all over the world. Everybody's got their thing, and that was just a neat story.
I mean, every one of us built something and smashed it. Was like, we're Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, we've all done that little cardboard box. And you step on it, and or step on a Lego and realize they don't give.
What would Godzilla do? WWGD.
But I mean, that was one of those things. Like growing up, I can remember the guy that did Grandpa Munster. He did like a Saturday afternoon like matinee, and there was a lot of Godzilla movies, so that's where and it was really cool because you would get the dubbed.
Yeah. Yeah. So bad, but so good.
Yes. Because Godzilla. And just the soundtrack, was opposite, but it was great. I loved them.
And can we? I don't know if I can still forget. I can't forgive. Is it Hanna-Barbera for Godzuki? Let's say that's not that was. There
were some dark times.
It was a very dark time. Yeah. And that's all. We had one channel. We got stuck with Godzuki.
Yeah, like the Batman and Robin movie. There were dark times.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't push it so much.
No nipples on the batsuit.
Why, man? Why?
Why would you do such a thing? It's so like stuff that we've talked about, things that you liked as a kid.
Yeah.
What about like now? I mean, Lego is eternal, right? But what other kind of things in this genre do you like that's going on like right now?
Well, obviously I can't let things go because I'm clinging to all my youth. I mean, Star Wars is in spite of my father trying not to make that happen, became a large part of my science fiction manhood. But
rebel scum.
Yeah, Babylon 5, I love.
That was such a great series.
The Battlestar Galactica, the OG in the 70s, but also the new reboot was so good.
Love that one.
I mean, really, honestly, anything science fiction, I'll definitely give it a chance. There's nothing really sci-fi that I absolutely abhor. I mean, Firefly was just amazing. Did not get us to.
Thanks, Fox.
Yeah. They've done a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Fox has never given our people love. They give us a shot and then they pull a plug and then there's petitions and then
like what are you doing, man?
Every time it's like X-Files was the one thing that probably bucked the trend because I think Fox wanted to kill that thing after the third season.
I went to do X-Files. Loved freaking X-Files, man. Loved it so much that job I've had, I had to go to Washington, D.C. a whole bunch, and I would go and walk by the FBI, the J. Edgar Hoover building, just to go, Mulder and Scully were right here. This is awesome. But
so
anyway,
good.
Was there a man smoking cigarettes standing outside?
I was looking for the smoking man, But yeah, those shows are so good.
Yeah.
And
we don't have a lot of those now.
No.
Everything's gone like reality TV.
Yeah, this is awful.
Well, there's some stuff. Some stuff is okay, but I mean, there's just not much to watch anymore. It's really aside from Mandalorian.
Well, yeah,
that's pretty much all we got.
Well, and listen to this podcast.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah, Pat is obviously full of great knowledge.
Uh-oh.
And you know what time it is? It's time for the Nerdy Old Men Rapid Fire Question Session. Okay.
All right. Pat's on the hot seat.
Yes,
today.
We'll see if Pat is ready. Wes, why don't you lead us off today?
Well, I'll throw him a softball question to get started here. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Nah, you're wrong,
Suck
but
it,
that's
Chad.
okay.
No. I'm wrong about a great many things. That is not one of them.
Kirk or Picard?
Picard. Oh, with the really, really close second of Kirk, but he just. I think he just. There's so many little. You gotta admit, there's a ton of baby Kirks around the galaxy. He definitely belittled the captaincy just a smidge.
Yeah, no, Picard. So he's 1-1. I agree with Picard. Go ahead.
Okay, if you were to get a superpower, what would that superpower be?
Oh man, I gotta. I always love Wolverine's my favorite comic book character. He always has been. That's how I got introduced to comics. As a kid in my class in middle school gave me a copy of X-Men. So Wolverine's always been. So his healing, I would want adamantium claws, so I'd have to have that healing factor.
There we go.
I'd have to have it. But that's like really kind of a lame power.
But it's a cool party trick.
Yeah, it is. Snicked.
Yeah, if you want to make it like shish kebabs,
Yeah. All right, Pat. Lego's going to make you into a minifig. What accessories do you have?
Oh, really? Oh, come on, man. I thought for sure
and you can only have one. Let's put a caveat on it. You can only have one accessory. What is it?
Yeah. Man, seriously. Oh, crap. I really thought you were going to pass on that one. I literally thought of it. Well, I need to think about this one. It's like, nah, he's going to ask. Because I totally punted. I might punt again. Crap. There's not so much. There's only so little that fits in that minifig hand. There's not much really to do with that hand. So, that's like, Chad. That's a terrible.
I know it's an awful question.
He wants one of those Rob Liefeld guns. That's
no, because Rob don't have hands, and we all know that their hands do not exist. Or I would have some kind of pouch. It would be a pouch. Just give me pouches.
I got that. He's got so much amazing things in here. He can't decide. That's what it is.
No, I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb. It's okay. I'll admit it. I'm a man. I'll take it.
Okay, you get to be a character in a sci-fi series. Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5, Firefly. What are you picking?
I want to go. You expect me to go Star Wars, but I won't. I think B5 is the world I would want to be in. That Battle Station is cool, but the amount of just the way that show portrayed the galaxy, not only with the politics, with the characters, I think it'd really be cool to be in that setting.
I like it. One of my standard ones here. You're on a long car drive. Let's say 4 or 5 hours. The radio doesn't work. There's no cell phone coverage, and you have to ride with one superhero or villain the entire time. Who is it?
I'm gonna switch things up a lit. Although I really like where my heart is, because my heart's with Stanley. But I think. God, I don't want to. I'd want to hang out with Logan because I want to drink a beer with him, but the cigar smoke would be so bad. But I think again, my love for the character of Wolverine and just that persona, maybe Deadpool, just because he's kind of a wise ass like me. Yeah. We would be kindred spirits. We would not get anywhere though because we'd be stopping everywhere.
Okay, now question: squirrel. Are we talking about Deadpool in the 90s? Okay,
Ryan Reynolds. I just want to hang out with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds.
No, that never existed. That was some bad dream, man.
So you're saying Wolverine?
Yeah, we'll go with Wolverine.
I think that's a good answer.
Okay, the last one I've got. Does pineapple go on a pizza?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
He's the only one that's ever said it.
He is wrong.
No,
you are wrong, sir.
I don't care. You put ham on it, a whole pig on it. No.
I love that, man. That's great, and this place is great. And,
thank you.
We love it here. Like I said, my kid thinks it's so freaking awesome. I love it. I know Wes is excited about it too. There's a couple things I'm going to pick up before we go today, but Pat, tell us again some contact information, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Let's get to the business part. I just love chatting with you guys. To be honest with you,
we love it too.
Brickhouse Collectibles. We're here in Farragut in East Tennessee, right off Kingston Pike. right near North Campbell Station Road. It's West End Avenue. So we're 163 West End Avenue, right near Farragut High School, the Goodwill. We're back in this area. Phone number is 865-392-1019. Call anytime with any kind of questions. We certainly want to, help, and whether we pass you along somewhere else or, give you what information we can, just want to help. We're open Monday through Friday. We're open 7 days a week. Typically we open at 10, close around 8, 9 on Friday and Saturday, but that's going to change. We're just going to close at 8. But yeah, or you can just give us an email at info@brickhousecollectibles.com.
Facebook, Instagram, all
also.
that.
Facebook, Brickhouse Collectibles. Yeah, we're on Instagram, but I don't really keep up on it because what's the chief social media officer, the CSO, you can only handle one thing because he's old. So I really try to stay active on Facebook. That's the horse I'm backing. Some occasionally we put some stuff on Instagram, but yeah, if you want to kind of keep up with what's going on, either stuff that's come in or events that are happening, yes, follow us on Facebook, and we'll definitely stay on top of keeping that up to date.
Yeah, the Facebook, as right now we're as recording this, it's Christmas time and Advent time, and Pat's been opening a Advent calendar, a Lego Star Wars Advent calendar, and putting it together online, and that's really fun to watch, one-handed, which is pretty fun. And so I've watched that. It is, and you can hear the papers crinkling.
Oh, it's so loud. I listen to it. I'm like, oh my god, it's so bad for people. I'm so sorry.
It's so neat.
Crackle.
But go to his Facebook page and see some of the videos. He does an unboxing of Grogu.
Gorgon. No.
That's Demi.
Gruel. Gozer. My child.
The child Baby Yoda from Sideshow Collectibles, and that was pretty cool too to see that. So that's pretty awesome.
So before we close, let me ask you all a question. So I'm going to turn the table here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Chad for just a second.
I love it.
So nerd versus geek.
Right.
So what are y'all's stances on that? So I mean, I have an opinion. I don't know if I don't know how widely accepted it is. So I kind of feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's really a wrong answer, but nerds are more the academia, right?
Okay, all right.
And a geek is more pop culture-y, kind of outcasts, of whatever it be, vampire, sci-fi, what have you. Now you can be both.
Okay.
But and a lot of people use them interchangeably, and I kind of feel that they shouldn't be.
Well, I think from our youth, right, from our age group, I think that is accurate. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think some of that, as things have progressed, have blended a bit.
Oh, they've certainly tried to. I kind of want to take it back.
Do you want to take it back?
I kind of want to go.
I kind
of want to go Kevin Smith and Jay Silent Bob and take it back.
The nerds are the glasses with the tape and the pocket protectors. And they're doing your homework, and the geeks were more, which Chad and I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons together, and
it's a geeky thing.
It was a geeky thing.
We had our lunch table, right?
But we had friends in different groups, so we kind of we played football, and I had friends that didn't play football that would be more on the nerd side. But
we did do those geeky things. But we also the super nerdy thing we did was we were in Business Professionals of America.
Yeah, we did.
I did spreadsheet database application competition, placed third nationally. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And you did some competition too.
I did international business, and actually won at state, and I placed, I believe it was like 50th in the nation.
All right, y'all are nerds.
Yeah, so we
y'all are nerds.
It's kind of like how those circles of influence overlap.
So we're nerds. What's gonna happen? He's gonna go stick our heads in the toilet here in a minute. So
lock in a locker.
Yeah, but see what happens though is when he starts to do that, then it's like the Hulk, and then you see like the football jersey comes out. You're ripping your shirt off, and the football jersey comes out, and he's like, "Oh no."
I know. I did a lot of athletics too, so I definitely, I think I kind of feel like we were the, if you all did sports as well, that we kind of bridged that gap between, because there was definitely,
well, you had
like we were the older generation, so you had the jocks and you had the nerds and you had the the emos and the theater kids, and you had you know, and I don't know how it is in school now, but we're so cliquey. We were so cliquey back in the 80s.
It was. When we were kids, though, our core group of kids is the same guys that we played D&D with together, right?
Yeah, for 30 years, it's been the same group of guys.
But
because I think we won.
Oh yeah,
because you would never get away with wearing that shirt, but everybody wears a Captain America or a
Nakatomi Christmas Party '88.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Okay, that's not exactly. That's just awesome. So, but there's all the quote unquote jocks or cool kids are absolutely wearing all of our stuff now. So they've embraced our culture.
What's funny is when you see like the 70, 80-year-old grandpa and he's got a Captain America T-shirt on, and you're like,
it's mainstream. It's so mainstream now, which is great. It's good.
The nerds and geeks inherited the earth. Right.
We laid the groundwork for
it worked.
You're welcome, kids. You're welcome.
Right,
we've laid
everything that's cool came from us.
all of our wedgies and head dunkings in the toilet paved the way for all the benefits you enjoy today.
So I think going back to that question. Yeah, I think there for a long time it was very separate. Maybe those two terms are still separated, and it's cloudy for me because I think I fall into both.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of the way it is. And of course, the name of the podcast is sort of a play on words.
I was not questioning your name.
It's kind of a play on words. So
and it works because I question myself when I say, I'm like, what did I just say?
Oh yeah, it took us a while too.
That must enunciate every syllable.
You don't need all them extra letters at the end there, folks. You just cut them right off.
But one other thing about your business that I want to make sure that we hit on it is something that I didn't realize that you did, and you talked about just a little bit ago, is people can come in with sets, Lego sets, and if you're interested in them, then you could potentially buy them.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how you get some of your older product.
Correct. Yeah. So we just did a buy yesterday. So people will reach out, either they'll call or they'll ping us through info@brickhousecollectibles.com.
There you go.
And they'll say, hey, we're looking to sell some Star Wars sets. Are you guys interested? And we are interested in any set.
Like, I want to buy some Star Wars sets.
Well, what you get for that may vary, because there's value to certain things, there's less value for others, and there's a bricklink.com is a great resource, and I'm about educating people too. There's no secret here. You can look online and see where your stuff is valued at, and we'll try to give you fair value for it. I'm not looking to rip anyone off. But you got to realize I'm going to make some profit too, and there's labor that goes involved of checking things out. So that's all part of the big business equation. Unfortunately, that's a side of it. So
I'm not getting $2,000 out of that one yellow brick.
Well, maybe because he's worth $5. So Mr. that little golden, it's really super rare.
Wow.
They reach out and send us the set numbers. Preferably, they're either built with the instructions. If you have the box, great. Because we can spot check for completeness, which ultimately I need to spend the time to check because I don't want to sell something as complete and have it missing pieces because it's my reputation. So people give me the numbers. We do some research. We do most of the front end work online, just back and forth. We can see what they have. I can kind of spot check pricing. We're working on assumptions here that is complete, quote unquote complete. Helpful hint, boys and girls. Nothing is ever 100% complete.
No.
But it's fine. It's going to be missing a piece or two, and we have a good backlog of pieces to backfill that to make it complete. So it's really not that big a deal. It's not a deal breaker because I kind of expect it. But we'll put together an offer, cash or trade. You get more in trade than you would in cash, as would any kind of that type of transaction. And then if you like it, bring it in, and we do the deal.
All right.
I'm gonna have to go find my Legos, see if I can get that Iron Man over there.
It's ready for that.
I would happily trade Iron Man for Lego. I need that shelf space.
For more Legos.
For more Lego.
So you guys make sure that you visit our website. We have all the social medias, both me and Redneck West. We handle different aspects of it because, again, like Pat said, we're old, so we can only handle so much. But the central location to find things about Nerdy Old Men is nerdyoldmenpodcast.buzzsprout.com. That's nerdyoldmenpodcast.buzzsprout.com. Upper right-hand corner is links to
buttons.
all. Yes, there's buttons in the upper right-hand corner that links to all of our social media, as well as the donation page if you don't care to want to give us a little bit to help fund the show. Anything that we make off of the advertisements for that goes right back into the show. So, Pat, we thank you so very much for the time.
Wes, it's great to chat with you.
Oh, this was great.
Yeah, we
We
can do
this
this
all day.
again without a mic. Just come on and hang out, man. We can chat. I know it's a long ride for Wes. We
Well, I was about to say, I
can
may have to
zoom
phone
you
it
in.
Wes phones it in all the time.
Yeah.
No, but we also want to say that we had a couple visitors here today, a couple plush creatures over here that Wes's daughter sent to be...
Kaylee and Isabel, Daddy brought your Mr. Squeaky and Coconut. They are sitting here doing the show with us today.
They helped us out with the show today, so we appreciate that from Wes's children. So until next time, I am Chad, and this is Pat, and we're at the Brickhouse Collectibles. Wes?
Yeehaw. I can do this all day.
Yeah, we know.
I was not raised by the television.